We're looking to be in Palestine, Mount Zion, geographically speaking. That's why I tell you terrible things going to happen before we leave here in Rastafari.
He has also prepared for him the instrument of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Jah!
Rastafari!
Jah!
Rastafari! Rastafari!
Jah!
Rastafari! King Selassie I! Rastafari! Rastafari!
His Imperial Majesty,
Emperor Haile Selassie I!
good night, our Most High.
I came here just being humble because I had started learning how to read in prison. I didn't even know how to read when I went to prison. I had money, I had material things, but yet not know how to read so good. Could read a little, but not good. In prison, I learned how to read very well, so it humbled me, made me humble. So I came here to Jamaica with a humble mind, humble spirit, yet open mind.
This is not the full definition of the name Rastafari. Improper, it is knowledge plus lacks and bid for the proper Rastology.
Lord God, the Rastafari shall come when he ride of his people, and this man was born here. As the singers as well as the players of instruments shall be there. All their springs are indeed. Ja!
Rastafari!
Tetragrammaton, ja!
Rastafari!
Tetragrammaton, ja!
Rastafari! King Selassie I!
When I was in the States, I had left praising Jesus and went over to the Muslim faith, praising Allah. I wasn't comfortable there because I kept asking questions but couldn't get the proper answers. So therefore I drifted over into another worship of Hebrew Israelite, which they pray to the Almighty Father of Yahweh, which is God, ancient name from long time. So actually I see I was getting closer and closer to the Almighty. So coming here to Jamaica now, I met the true Almighty God by meeting the priest. When the priest and me shake hand together, the priest told me this. He said, I feel a sense of power coming from you, a sense of energy. He gave me some simple explanation towards the School of Vision, which is our school now. Gave me some explanation towards the hills. Gave me a diagram of the Star of David. That's the 5-point star that represents America, and those things kind of like sparked the fire inside me.
The practitioners of the World Secret Order is the compass and the square. That is the tools for the lodge, Freemasonry, Illuminati.
From the studies that I've studied so far, USA, and the interpretation that I've got of USA, it means under satanic authority.
That is where I was trained, 1975. And did my military stint up until 1981. Going to America. And in America, I got my conversion. The military and my training, I think now was very good for me and was vital and necessary for even the work that I'm doing now in School of Vision, which means the shepherding of the people and its militancy, not meaning guns and bombs and things. We don't deal with those weapons. Our weapon is not carnal, but the spiritual weapons we deal with.
I'm a part of School of Vision. School of Vision meaning Bible study, prophecies, stuff like that. A holy set of people that have put themselves together to serve the Lord from the Bible.
We here now are bound by mainly one thing, farming. We that are here now in this habitation for repatriation, by wisdom know that seeing that we're going to be cut off or ostracized, seeing that we don't want this mark, our only way out is to have our own food. Knowledge now is speaking food. Why? Food is a fuel that sustains the flesh. And the Bible declares that, and he calls it all, whether you're large or you're small, white, black, rich or poor, if you don't take the mark, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, mean trade. Man trade not only through minerals or resource, man trade labor. That means even your job will be at stake. So now, the chip is actually the one that the Bible warned them of. They're not going to be aware of it. Lucifer through the media, and they have already started it, going to publicize the chip as the most coveted thing. They're already doing it in America with the children now from being kidnapped. They are using it now in what you call now wildlife preservation. I am aware of these things. So when the time comes now, and mankind already is a materialist by his nature, it's going to take the chip. You know why? If you don't take the chip, you'll have to face one man. And that man is King Selassie I. The whole world said the man is dead. And I have more things to say against him. Him evil, him drink blood, him do asa. So he will come to convince them. I cannot change it. I can only try to shine some light.
The Bible isn't the only source of inspiration. And for many, the Bible don't even figure. What figures is interpretation of current events. Rastas are very current, you know, and are constantly interpreting, their beliefs through current activities. So the idea of a chip, you know, comes in. It fits in. They seek to fit it into the whole belief structure and so on.
But the Rasta man is the shepherd of Israel. He sits on the wall or the fence, always looking out for Israel and utter that Israel don't go down in folly.
They have not said that before them. Haile Selassie I, behold, Rastafari's many helper. Be with them and those uphold it our soul, whether even unto enemy, cut them off thy true touch. When I will freely sacrifice unto thee, thou most high King Selassie I, for it is good, for he deliver us out of all terror, and let our eyes see the desire upon the enemy. Holy Emmanuel Emperor Haile Selassie I, Rastafari. Lives and reigns and roll all thing. Cut and clear, gossa bada bada, red.
One order. But damn, you don't shade that. More love, more life.
Hey. Bless.
The herb that is called ganja couldn't be jug. It is a natural tree that sustains itself through heat, air, and water, and is the holiest out of all earth plant.
The ganja was brought and disseminated here by Indian indentured workers in the 19th century. It quickly spread among the rural working class and in the rural communities, but was adopted by the emerging Rastafari in the city as a way of, as a sacrament.
Yeah! Rastafari, bless up I, thy Father, bless up I, guide I, and protect I, thy Father, bless up I. Yeah! Rastafari, King Haile Selassie I, seal.
Whether town or country, middle class or working class, any young man that begins to question life, that looks beyond what is manifest and seen, inevitably gravitates to Rastafari.
I moved to the United States in the early 80s when I was about 9 years old. The life I was living was the life of a heathen, you know, the life of an evildoer, a person who really didn't know God. Thought I did, but really didn't, you know what I'm saying? And therefore, the God that I thought I knew as being God, who I was praying to, was actually Satan. So therefore, my acts was of him. I was put in prison for riding with a concealed firearm. I was a convicted felon and I was not supposed to have a firearm in my possession. So therefore, I was driving down the street, had it in the car, the officer stopped me. So prior to that, I had done a series of things, you know, like I've stole cars, I've broke into houses, you know. I've done practically everything, sold drugs, you know. I've shot people, I've done all the things that evil people do, you know what I'm saying? I lie, I always think about stealing, always think about getting over, you know? I was a gangster, you know, I was a thug, as they call it. Tupac would say you a thug. I would consider myself one. As you can see, I got a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All tatted and had it, because that's what they say, you got to be tatted if you a thug. We have been taught evil. Well, if we were taught good, I'm quite sure our actions would have been of good. But therefore, we was taught evil, so evil is what comes out of us, majority. There's a few that escape, you know, that happen to go off into the commercial areas and, you know, venture off where they get a good job and stuff. But the majority of the black people throughout the country, not just America alone, but everywhere, is violence and rage. So that means that has to be what they learned, you know? It has to be. And where did they get it from? They got it from the slave master mentality.